Mal für die European Tour qualifizieren können, hat gestern einen schönen Anfang hingelegt, hat den Schweden Dennis Nilsson bezwungen und will jetzt mal sehen, was so geht. Und dazu drücke wir ihm die Daumen, dem Checker Marvin Wehder! Das ist natürlich eine Herkulesaufgabe, die da auf Marvin wartet. Denn jetzt steht dort die aktuelle Nummer 2 der Welt. Der Weltmeister von 2018, der aktuelle World Matchplay Champion, Voltage Rob Cross.
Well, after all the excitement and darting drama of the Friday session here in Mannheim, it has been a rather predictable afternoon at the European Darts Matchplay. Every single seeded player so far has gone through. Gerwyn Price, in the last match, a standout performer, the best performance of the tournament so far, an average of over 102. In his 6-3 success against Simon Stevenson, surely Paul Nicholson, the highest ranked player in action in this afternoon session, is not going to be the one to end the trend as Rob Cross meets a bit of a novice in professional darts, Germany's host nation hope for this afternoon session, Marvin Wehder.
You wouldn't think so, but this is darts, and nothing is ever assured when it comes to this beautiful tungsten-laid game. Marvin was decent yesterday. He took out a good opponent in Dennis Nilsson, and he may have got a bit fortunate with the fact that Dennis Nilsson was so knackered after working all week at night shift. Probably not the best preparation, but he still had to get the job done, and he did so 6-3. That's a very good account of himself. And this is his third day playing darts under these lights. He's definitely accustomed to the mile mark, Tyler, that's for sure.
Well, we saw Daryl Gurney defeat John Henderson a couple of games ago. Gurney will take on the winner of this match, which means it could be a third round tie between the world's number 2 and 3.
First leg, Rob to throw first. Game on.
I think we all want to see it, really.
Well, by a quirk of the draw, we've already got a matchup between the world number 1 and 5, and the number 4, Gary Anderson, isn't here. So some tasty tungsten ties in the early stages of this European Darts match play. But Rob Cross first has to cross the line against Marvin Wehder and the German crowd, a crowd which he has some strong words to say about in the past.
He's played in some vociferous atmospheres, that's for sure, over the course of the last couple of years, and he's actually said to me personally that playing in front of the German crowds is as tough as anywhere in the world, especially when you're playing against the home nation boys like Max Hopp, Gabriel Clemens, and one I'm referring to is the German Masters, where it was particularly difficult for him. The more experience he gains as the champion of the world and current match play champion,
96.
I think he's going to find himself with so much confidence that that doesn't play as much of a part. And he started this match
89.
very buoyantly.
Well, it's 2 major titles for Cross, but it's 2 major titles that immediately put him in the League of Legends, isn't it? Having won the 2 most prestigious titles in the sport. Double 6 for a stunning start. Hot cross.
On the first leg, Euro cross. Second leg, Marvin to throw first.
You expect me to say bun there? Now, it's a very good start from Rob. Typically buoyant backstage. I know I've used that word twice now, but that's what he's like. Probably one of the reasons why they call him Voltage is just because of what he used to do for a living. But because he's just so full of energy backstage. This has got to be a 180.
140.
That's a miss, because if he throws that half decent, that just clatters into the other 2.
He's a bit like them, isn't he, Rob Cross? He's a bouncy character. Always strutting around, always
100.
happy to stop and have a chat.
A chat?
Never really looking miserable.
Only a chat.
Are you suggesting that he can have an extensive conversation?
He has taken Alex Roy's
99.
mantle. Since Alex doesn't play PDC, Rob Cross has become the chattiest player on tour.
Chatty man, Rob Cross.
58.
Nothing wrong with that. You get a very good interview out of him. I'm not saying it because he talks a lot. What I'm saying is the interview he did with the Dart Show the next morning after we won the match play, I thought it was amazingly insightful as to how focused and how driven this guy really is and what he is aspiring to do in maybe the next 5 to 10 years. Is he satisfied with a World Championship and a World Match Play? Absolutely not.
82.
And the task that Marvin Wehder has this afternoon is just mammoth.
Well, what a start he's made here, Rob Cross. A 1-2-6 for a dozen dart leg in the first. Looking to repeat the trick by cleaning up 82 on tops in the second. Does so. And Paul, I'm going to ask you a question here, because last time we were in the box together earlier this afternoon, we were saying that none of the seeded players had really set the standard, really set the benchmark for the rest of them. Well, Gerwyn Price upped it in the last match with an average of over 102. Do you think Rob Cross will have looked at that and thought, yeah, I'm going to do a bit better than that?
He probably hasn't got one Scooby-Doo what Gezi did. He'll have been in the zone the last half an hour, figuring out what he's got to do to win today.
96.
And as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the draw for when you play on a Saturday, this is about as perfect as it gets. Because you can turn up, say, 4:30 is your match time, which is spot on. It's what we did. Get here about 1:30 after lunch. Do your prep over the course of 3.5 hours maybe. And then you can go back to the hotel room for a couple of hours, hopefully after a win. Have a nice dinner, get lots of rest, and let the rest of the guys in the evening session worry about what they're going to do.
Rob Cross worried about a stray dart there. He launched it halfway down the hockey. I'm not sure if it bounced off George Noble's ankle or not.
Now sometimes when you go to retrieve it from your left hand, if you're a right hander of course, it just slips out your fingers and it propels forward.
98.
He did of course propel them very close to the referee's feet when he took out Van Gerwen in the semi-finals of the World Championships. I think they were very close to the ankles of Kirk Bevins.
Well, the reason I ask you that question about whether Rob Cross would have wanted to outperform Gerwyn Price is because that is exactly the attitude that Phil Taylor and Michael Van Gerwen have had when they had their big rivalry, particularly on Premier League nights when one of them had played first.
Yeah, that's very fair. I think Rob is cut from a slightly different cloth, though. I don't think he wants to get embroiled in that kind of intramural rivalry. I think he just wants to focus on what he's doing, and he does have his own game plan, which we've already talked about this weekend.
100.
He'll eliminate the treble 16s and treble 17s and treble 15s as much as he can. And he'll focus on 20, 19 and 18.
Well, there will be 19 here, and now 20. And has to try and avoid the obstacle. Brilliant so far from Rob Cross.
Marvin to throw first.
Well, that young kid approves, and he's right. Very, very good indeed.
60.
Well, the most important thing for me, the overall average is of course incredible, but the first 9 when he gets that right, I think the doubles click automatically when he's scoring well. I can't remember a time in Rob Cross's career where his doubling has been poor. If anything has slipped, it's been the scoring. This is close to as perfect as it gets, in my opinion.
Well, neither player has missed a dart double, as you see there, Paul.
That is what you call a glass is half full kind of statement. See, everything's changed since you got the grey shoes. So comfortable in those shoes. I asked him about them about a month ago. He just said, it feels like I'm walking in slippers. And it makes such a difference. Phil Taylor was the first person to go on about shoes. And he was absolutely right.
Spoke about making sure that you practice in the same shoes that you'd be wearing playing.
Couldn't agree more. Doesn't matter what you wear, whether it's winkle pickers, all black trainers, or some very snazzy grey suede slipper types.
Well, there you see the stamps of Rob Cross, the shoes as well, but a little kick that we were seeing from Gerwyn Price as well.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who puts his entire right side of his right foot against the hockey, and I've always said that that kind of stance just puts a little bit of extra pressure on the right knee because it twists it. But as you're not hyperextending the knee backwards, you won't put maximum pressure on it. Just got to be wary of that the older you get. And we forget that Rob's a very young man. Another one of them will be handy for Marvin. So far, he's been outclassed, outscored, outdoubled, and he's swimming in a very sharp sea of sharks.
Yep. Hasn't been safe to go in the water at all. Rob Cross has finished all 3 legs, sub 15 darts. That continues.
Rob Cross. 5th leg, Rob to
We've all said that Rob tends to play at his best when he's got that right amount of rest and practice under his belt. Now, he took last week off. Perfect thing to do after exploits down under.
60.
And a week later, he looks this good. And Marvin Wehder knew that he was going to be against something quite special this afternoon.
57.
But to me, you've got to inject some sort of confidence against what Rob is doing. I just don't see any positivity from Marvin right now. I don't think he believes he can beat Rob Cross.
137.
Well, we know that Rob Cross can reel off runs of legs. Just ask Darryl Gurney about that.
81.
The unthinkable comeback in Blackpool.
Turned out to be very thinkable.
It was one of those comebacks, Paul, where when you're watching it, you just got the sense it was going to happen because Rob Cross just became his relentless best. And we've seen him, of course, win the World Championship in that fairy tale debut season. He does tend to get better and better as games go on.
Yeah, he can play for a very long time at a high level. He cannot win a world title without playing long format at around about 100 average or more.
And he kind of crushed Phil Taylor into submission in that World Championship final. Okay, yes, he survived match darts against Van Gerwen in the semi, but the performance in the final was remarkable.
Do you know what it was? It was Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair at WrestleMania. It was Rob Cross and Phil Taylor, and Rob Cross super kicked Phil Taylor in the guts, then in the chin. He just annihilated him in the middle part of the match and finished him off. Didn't look back.
39.
I'll ask you a little question in a moment because it does look like a certainty that Rob Cross is going to progress, because even though he's not going to finish this leg in fewer than 15 darts, still Wehder is out of sight.
82.
There was a wrestler called Wehder. Big boy. 64 left.
Well, yeah, he doesn't have to bother looking at the 14 segment, which is why he was looking around. He was checking his opponent's score, checking what he needed.
66.
And he's going to get more time. But yeah, I think Rob Cross, I will hang my hat on the fact that Rob Cross is going to win this match, Paul. We haven't seen a seed tumble yet.
100.
I don't blame Marvin Wehder going for that 180.
I'm going to ask you a question after this leg about which seed is most likely to lose this evening. Double four. Hold the answer, because there's a chance.
This is a result of Marvin not playing at his best throughout the course of this game. I think Rob has regressed because he hasn't had anybody on his tail. Now that Marvin he is going to get a shot at a double for the first time. It's going to be a wide as I put both my arms, one left and one right in D-Bird style. 2 fours for cross for 5-0. Gets there with a little assist from the dart. And that'll put a bit of a dent in your average, and he's still over 100 though.
So I think we Paul, but I want your prediction first.
Okay.
Seeded players to go out tonight, which is the most likely?
If you can hear a silence, because I'm thinking.
Well, I'll take you the opportunity to run you through this evening's matches. Ricky Evans taking on Carsten Koch. Ian White against Gabriel Clements, the 2 German players in action in the first couple of matches. Christoph Ratajski against Keegan Brown. Then the repeat of the World Championship final, Michael van Gerwen against Michael Smith. Second half of the evening session sees Suljovic, the winner in Austria last week, take on Kim Huybrechts. Peter Snakebite Wright against William O'Connor. The UK Open champ Nathan Aspinall against Wayne Jones, and Joe Cullen against the Czech Darts Open winner Jamie Hughes.
My answer is Mensah Suljovic, because I think there will be a little bit of a hangover from last week. And I was impressed with Kim Huybrechts last night, because his game against Robert Thornton, he had to produce some proper darts. That was a good match. And if Kim does the same tonight, he's going to trouble Suljovic. I think he might nick that one.
Well, according to the world rankings, the most dangerous non-seeded player is Michael Smith. He happens to be taking on the most dangerous seeded player. What a match that could be this evening.
I'm looking forward to Ratajski against Brown. I think that might be a bit juicy. Maybe some celebrations in that. Rob Cross has emigrated to the side of a milk carton in this leg.
96.
He's gone missing.
He's
61.
Inadvertently giving the German crowd something to cheer.
Well, he doesn't owe them anything, that's for sure.
42.
Getting behind their man, but he's making hard work of it, and just one big visit from Rob Cross could turn the leg on its head.
It would be typical Rob Cross if he was 180, 68 out.
100.
That'll have to do. If he gets a shot at 148, you can guarantee he's going 54 first.
If he gets a shot.
2 shots at a double.
Yeah, and neither of them really anywhere near the target.
Yeah, an 80 average is not going to trouble Rob Cross, whether he's on fire or not.
We're looking for 254s.
52.
Rob Cross to lead atop.
48.
Wehder with his best chance of the match. Could guide that.
Oh, horror dart. Blocks everything. Has to move.
32.
And now Rob Cross can finish it the way he likes, with a double 18 if he gets a 60.
96.
Full credit to the home crowd. They've carried on supporting their man, upping the decibel levels. Cheers of Marvin Wehder ole. Rob Cross was looking to finish
74.
in flamboyant style. It might not be finished yet. Wait for the cheer if this goes in.
Oh, wrong one.
No score.
Unbelievable. And Rob Cross is going to limp across the line after coming out
22.
like a greyhound after a Red Bull.
Is he going to limp across the line right now? Double 4 says yes, he is. Rob Cross in the end completes a whitewash win, though Wehder had chances to avoid that fate towards the back end of the match. But Rob Cross, the world number 2, safely through all the seeds through this afternoon. Chisnell, Clayton, Wade, Lewis, Durrant, Gurney, Price and Cross move in to the final day of action. Plenty more big names in action this evening. Mensah Suljovic, the winner last week, Peter Wright, and a mouth-watering tie between Michael van Gerwen and Michael Smith. A repeat of the World Championship finals. Join us tonight from 7:15 local time.
Und trotzdem, hat's gut gemacht, Marvin Wehder. Congratulations. Quick and dirty. 6-0. Whitewash. Applaus nochmal für Marvin. No, that was... I mean, after 4 legs, the average was about 105. You played really well. At the end, you was not that good, but it was enough, you know?
I started brightly. First 4 legs, I was good, and then sort of went a little bit waffly. And in fairness to Martin, it let me in. But no, in fairness, I feel all right. I feel all right. Considering I got up at 2 o'clock this morning to catch a flight, and yeah, I feel all right.
We haven't talked since your win at the World Matchplay. How big was it for you winning this thing?
I think obviously losing the not the Players' Championship UK Open final, losing the Premier League final, and I've lost in a couple of finals. So it was nice to get over the line, and I feel confident now. I feel good, and I'm enjoying my darts. It's just a good night's sleep needed.
That's really the big difference in compared to 12 months ago, I would say, right?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I felt the pressure last year with everything being new. Didn't really cope with it too well in places, but you learn. And when you learn, you always come back stronger, and I'm a big believer of that. I think I've learned now. If I win the Worlds again this year, it won't be a problem.
Okay, good to have you here. Thank you very much. Rob Cross.